This is the Charnwood Aire 700. Obviously, we've already reviewed the Sky, which you can check out the review to that here somewhere. We didn't necessarily all want technology in stoves. So if you don't want an app, if you don't want Wi-Fi connection, if you want to sometimes, if you have power cuts and sometimes there's no power at all, is this still worth buying? This stove has a 7 kilowatt output and a 3-year warranty that covers literally everything. Glass, rope, bricks, like ridiculous things that are consumables. There's then a following 10-year warranty. You have to have got it from the right place and installed properly, but a following 10-year warranty that covers the stove ongoing. You then get spares that will be provided for the stove for, obviously this is a new model, so for many, many, many years, but even a decade beyond after this thing stopped being made. So very well sorted there. You've then got the app, as you've seen from our other review, the app and all the controls and the gizmos. But what if the power goes out? And I'm not even going to use small kindling. Very smart tortoise matches that were very smart until my son started chewing them. Well, no struggles at all. Even without the power on, this was a 7 out of 10 for lighting. And I'm keen to say, we haven't attached the app. It's not connected to Wi-Fi. It's not been updated. Right now, it doesn't even have the power on. I think we'll turn it on. There we go. It's doing things. Lights come on. I've turned it down onto 1. Well, obviously this has all the boring bits, DEFRA approval, eco design. Key things, it runs at 88% efficiency, not just in the lab or on the brochure, but in your home, which is very, very good. Then we get to the clean glass. Now this was an area that the Sky wasn't perfect at, but this model costs less than the Sky and is actually cleaner on the glass. It performs really, really well here. You've then got to bear in mind the fact that we've got rear outlet on this. I've run it very, very seriously. I've turned it off, and so it's not got any of the controls being operated correctly. Even after 2 weeks of that kind of abuse, you can see here what it was like. So this is performing really well on clean. I think this is a 9 out of 10. Okay, build and controls, but let's start with the build. Are Charnwood going to struggle here? Obviously not. Charnwoods are made beautifully, all in the UK, castings, steel work, everything's bougie, everything's really smart, stay cool handle, 12mm hearth, you can get optional log stores, you can do all sorts of stuff. Even the electronics here, where we just tap through, from low all the way up to high. That's just a really smart, simple little button. It's beautifully put together, very serviceable. Full marks. Okay, controls. And I really want to get over to you just how good this is. Because me, like you, I like old school stoves. I'm nervous of the machines coming to get us. So I've taken it all away. As I've said, no app, no controls, no Wi-Fi, nothing. We do have this to cycle through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's it. Other than that, we've got no control. Before, when we did have the app and everything, it was 10 out of 10. With this, all I'm doing is chucking a log on, setting it on level 1, and letting it do all itself. It burns longer, cleaner, I get more heat from those logs. Even when I've turned the whole thing off, it's still performing really well. It's still 10 out of 10. Just turn the whole thing off, unplug it, leave it like that. You'll see that for the rest of the review now, rest of our filming for the rest of the day. That is unplugged. And I won't need to reload it again. It's 10 out of 10. Well, like the Sky 700, this ran for 9 hours on a net of logs, so very, very similar here. I couldn't feed my addiction of running overnight without the app, because obviously the app, you can shut it right down, and this I couldn't do, because I literally haven't used that once. But that meant it was always running at sort of optimum. And to be fair, I was loading the stove less often. It was throwing out bag loads of heat, and it's no effort. My wife loves it. You just chuck a log on, it flashes its light when it wants another log. You get loads of heat for the amount of fuel. It's obviously an expensive thing, but it is very nicely finished as well. If you don't like automated stoves, I have sympathy with that thought process. However, I also cannot deny that this has to be a 10 out of 10. If you're an old school traditional stove user, a farmer, somebody who wants just a big lump of metal that they can fill with logs, load up, shut down, and run 24/7, then this isn't for you. But for nearly everyone else, it needs less input, it needs less fuel, it gives more heat, it burns cleaner and more efficiently, both inside the house and outside the house. It's easier. Obviously, during this process, what I've been trying to do is answer the questions from other reviews where people are skeptical of automation. The other final big elephant in the room is heat and technology. Am I buying something that's just going to break and cause trouble? Now, obviously, Charm would have answered that by saying, for 3 years, it doesn't matter what goes wrong, we'll replace it for free. And for 10 years beyond that, it's under a more standard warranty at that point, so it won't cover bricks and glass, but it still covers the thing. And they're going to run this, they're going to develop this over time. And all of those developments so far are reverse engineered. So they go into all the models. This has been updated since it very first came out, and they tweaked the design of the light sensor inside. This has the new light sensor. Nothing else has changed. It's all reverse engineered. And maybe, this is the very cutting edge of technology, but maybe in 15, 20 years, when they stop making this model, you'll be thinking, oh yeah, but now I've got heat and technology, and is it all just going to break and then I'm not going to be able to get spares? Well, no, they're going to make all of those spares and reverse engineer all those spares for the whole time it's being made, and at least another decade beyond that. So that's a pretty good answer. I don't love technology. It's not helped by companies like Apple with engineered obsolescence, essentially ripping us all off. And this sort of thing isn't going to grab everyone either. It's technological, and, some of us want a naturally aspirated manual car. But then again, even that is probably only for the weekend. And this thing is every day. And it's easier. It's better. Maybe it's not a driverless car, which none of us want. Maybe it's an automatic, because it's faster, it's cleaner, it's more efficient, it's all round better. Less work for us. Maybe there's a reason that Ferrari, for the last quarter of a century, hasn't made a manual car. Maybe this isn't a trick or a con. Maybe, just maybe, it's fantastic.